Hi, this is Drew, and welcome to Fitness 40 and Beyond. Join me as I document my recovery journey from leukemia diagnosis back to fitness and well-being, also with fitness and well-being advice and tips for those over 40. Today, we're going to be talking about looking after our own mental health. It was World Mental Health Day this past week gone. I did put up a post across all my platforms just with a snippet of how we can all look after our own mental health. Today, I just want to go in just a little bit deeper with just a few tips of how we can all look after our own mental health. So without further ado, let's do this. Issue of mental ill health has been one that in the media lately has been picking up quite a lot of momentum, which I'm actually glad to see. As a practitioner myself, I am a mental health nurse. We are constantly going into patients' homes, or we're seeing them in a ward setting or in a clinic setting, and we're seeing an increase nationally, and I think even globally, of people who are beginning to either talk about their own mental ill health or are actually suffering from mental health conditions. I'm also glad to see that the stigma around mental health is now becoming less and less because of campaigns such as Time to Change, and Mind. All of these organizations are out there raising awareness of mental ill health. So I also just want to say a little bit about me as well. As well as being a practitioner, I have also had my struggles with mental illness as well. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression in my 20s, and even before then, I do know that I was quite prone to being quite anxious and to episodes of depression from a much younger age, and it took me until my mid-20s to actually go and seek help. So these are the reasons, or some of the reasons, why I even decided to become a mental health practitioner, so that I could help others who may be going through the same thing as me, trying to just make sense of everything and seeing if there are ways that I can cope with this. So I've got 7 life hacks, if you want to call them, of dealing with mental health, and how to live as full a life as possible, and looking after our own mental health. So let's get started. Number 1, prioritize yourself and feel your own emotions. If you're unable to prioritize your own needs, your own self, and get in touch with your own feelings, your own emotion, and really try to get an understanding of yourself, then the rest of these hacks are going to be quite difficult to try and achieve. I think it takes a while to understand yourself. You may need to even speak to other people about what you're going through, which is one of the other hacks that we're going to go to. But really, for somebody like myself, who can be quite introspective, trying to get an understanding of what's going on. So it could be by reading up on the subject. If you suffer with anxiety, reading up around anxiety, how can it impact on you. If it's depression, reading up on it. There's loads of videos on YouTube around this subject, and then how it actually relates to yourself. Thinking what could have led me to this point. And then if you have been successful in dealing with emotions of, you know, depression or paranoia or anxiety, what kinds of things have helped you in the past to deal with it? What have you found helpful? What have other people been able to bring to you, to bring to the table? What value have other people added to you, to your life, in order to help you to get through these times? So definitely trying to be in touch with your own feelings, your own emotions, and making yourself a priority, you know, waking yourself up in the morning, looking after your own self-care. These are the things that, you know, it's the number one thing. Prioritize yourself. Number two, having a routine or a structure. This is so vital. If you are suffering with any mental illness, having a routine is the most important thing after prioritizing yourself. In fact, it goes hand in hand with prioritizing yourself. Having a routine and having a structure actually gives you the basis of having a fuller life. It gives you an aim, it gives you a purpose, it improves your self-esteem, it gives you confidence, it gives you that boost. I'm not talking about having a day planned out with military precision, because depending on where you are in terms of your own emotional state, your own mental state, your own thought process, planning, I don't know, a massive holiday or a wedding might be a stretch too far. But we're talking about starting with simple things. So, for example, if, you know, your aim is just to get out of bed. There are some people that just struggle to get out of bed in the morning. They struggle to face the world. So even if one of the routines that you decide is, okay, well, every morning I'm going to try and get up for 8 o'clock. In fact, I'm going to make that my routine, to get up for 8 o'clock in the morning, make myself some breakfast, and just stay awake. That could be the first thing. Other people who may be able to do more, you obviously do what you can and what you feel emotionally and mentally able to do. For some people it may be, today I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a walk to the shops. For many people that is a big challenge. Being out in society, seeing other people. These things can be a massive challenge, but setting these challenges for ourselves also improves our sense of self-esteem, our sense of achievement, our sense of accomplishment. Probably making up the bed today, doing some laundry, getting out and having a routine to go and do some exercise. All of these things can help, but you must ensure that if you set yourself goals, set realistic goals that you know that you are going to have a very, very good goal at accomplishing. Number 3, sleep. Very important. Sleep attributes to our mood, our energy levels, our metabolism, our ability to recover from illness or from physical exertion, and it even helps with stress. Sleep is one of the most vital functions our body can perform. Even from when we're younger, we grow in our sleep. Sleep is so vital. For training purposes, your muscle, when it breaks down, it grows and repairs in your sleep. Recommended levels of sleep, I'd say safe levels would be between 7 to 8 hours. Some people survive on less. For your mental well-being, having a good 7 to 8 hour sleep should be sufficient for you to recover from the day, to de-stress, to be able to function for the next day. And having a sensible sleep time is also very important. It fits in with routine. So if you say to yourself, okay, maybe I'll go to sleep at 10. So let's just say 10 at night. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you wake up at 6 in the morning. Okay, that is a healthy amount of sleep. Or if you go to sleep at 11, you can wake up at 7. It also depends on your activity during the day. It depends on your work-life balance, but always make sure that sleep, you're getting enough sleep and that it works in with your daily lifestyle and your daily routine. Number 4, food. Food is essential for sustaining us. Food, we get all of our intake that helps us to be able to fight off disease, for our body to repair from illness, from injury, to help our bodies grow, to keep us alive. Food, and the right type of food, is very essential, and I did put up a post over the weekend with regards to the right types of food and portion sizes. We need our intake of our carbs, of our protein, of fruit, vegetables. They contain vitamins, minerals that are essential to keeping us alive and for different parts of our bodies to function well. It also helps regulate our mood, and it has an impact on other things as well. So, for example, for people who train, you need the right amount of protein and carbs for you to be able to grow and develop and repair your muscles that are torn down through training. For most of us, we need it for our mood. If you've ever heard of this new figure of speech called hangry that a lot of people use, and it's very true. You don't have enough food intake and it affects your mood. We become cranky, we become irritable because we're not having enough intake to sustain us. Our body is always working, it's a machine, and all machines need fuel in order to function at their optimum capacity, and food is a very important component for this. Recommended for people, their intake, say about 4 times a day. Maybe you have breakfast, you have a mid-morning snack which would consist of some type of fruit, and then you have lunch, then you would have your evening meal at dinner time, and this should be enough to sustain you throughout the day. Avoid things like high sugary drinks, chocolate, crisp, which are high in fat, and can eventually lead to blocked arteries. Things like burnt toast or really burnt food, which can cause cancer or feed cancerous cells. All of these things are important, but food, very important for our mental well-being as well. Number 5, activity. Now, activity can be physical, and also we can talk about other things such as extracurricular activities which keep our mind healthy. In terms of physical activity, we're really recommended that we do 30 minutes of physical activity per day in order to keep our bodies healthy. This also goes hand in hand with having a balanced diet to support the healthy changes that our body will be making through physical activity. For those of us with less mobility or with long-term injuries, we can do light activity that still gets our heart going, gets our metabolism going, and overall encourages our body to work. You can do things like dancing, walking, cleaning the house, going for a jog, doing exercises at home, yoga, Pilates, for people like myself who hit the gym. 30 minutes minimum recommended activity per day. But also, as well as it encouraging good physical health, the endorphins that are released are also good for our mental well-being as well. So definitely this is one that we should be looking at in order to combat feelings of depression, anxiety, and to boost our mood. When we're talking about activity, we're also talking about the kind of camaraderie as well that you can get from doing things like either team sports or going to things like chess clubs or bridge clubs or, you know, tennis clubs or even like walking groups. Anything where you are able to interact with others and share your experiences, which is going to be one of the other tips that I'm going to give. Anything where you're with people that make you feel comfortable and help you to actually process your thoughts and your feelings, your emotions. These are all beneficial to us as well. Number 6, talking about it. It's been well documented, especially in the media, about talking about our mental health issues, talking about how we feel, sharing with someone how we actually feel and the things that worry us. Like I say, stigma around mental illness now is less so than it was even 5 or 10 years ago. Now people are a lot more open talking about these things. Employers now are even more understanding and have a greater awareness of mental health issues. And I think the more that we're seeing CEOs of companies now and those with high ranking jobs coming out, it's become more acceptable now to be open about these mental health issues. So definitely sharing is a positive step forward. Not everybody, and you know, I've spoken to patients of mine as well who said, well, I don't do well in groups, or, you know, I don't want to talk about all the intimate aspects of my life. You don't have to. You can say as much or as little as you want. You could even just talk about how your day has been and how maybe even one thing that has really impacted on you has affected you. And by sharing that problem, people may be able to have some kind of input into that can help you with problem solving, or can even just help you feel better about a situation or about the way how you're feeling. And it can have a real positive healing impact. Number 7, last but not least, faith or beliefs. Now, I do respect that not everybody has a faith or has a belief, but for those that do, this can also be something that helps. What we normally do when we're meeting a new patient that is coming into our service for the first time, we often ask about what faith or what beliefs they have, because we tend to find that people with a strong faith or a strong belief system, it can be quite helpful. People, you know, we can't discount what that means in someone's life, because that could be an anchor for them. That can be where they take their solace. That could be where they draw their strength from. Now, just because you have a belief, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's religious either. You could have a belief in the universe. You could have a belief in karma. You could have a belief in energy. You could just be a spiritual person. You could be agnostic as well. But you may have a belief in something, you know, your political views, or, you know, things that you're heavily involved in, that you derive strength from, things that give you a focus, things that you feel give you a purpose. Some people, you know, they may practice martial arts, and some of the ethos that they learn from martial arts, the disciplines, or from yoga, these are things that they incorporate into their life. So we're talking about a broad spectrum of beliefs which can be quite healing to yourself, to your soul, to your emotional state, to your mental state. And this is something also that is very important for your mental well-being, but also for your own self-development and your sense of self-worth and self-esteem. And those are my 7 tips or life hacks for looking after your mental health. Please do drop a comment below if there was anything there that resonated with you, or if you have any of your own tips or hacks of looking after your own mental well-being. We've come to the end of another edition of Fitness 40 and Beyond. My name is Drew. If you have liked what you've seen today, or anything that you've heard, please do hit the like button. If you are not subscribed as yet, what are you waiting for? Please do subscribe. Also, if you are an existing subscriber and you haven't done so already, please do hit the bell button so you can get the latest notifications and updates from Fitness 40 and Beyond. This is Drew. You've been watching Fitness 40 and Beyond. Until next time, take care.